how often should somebody, how big of a ranking factor is it to go in and kind of freshen up your service page content? And just in general, just things on your website as far as the content structure, just how often Google changes things.
It's case to case.
Yeah.
But you have to read the room, if you will. Right now, we feel for everybody in LA that are dealing with those fires, but unfortunately, they've been decimated so bad where there's nothing left to remediate. Versus like a kitchen fire, it's a little bit different. That can be renovated in terms of making sure that it's properly mitigated because it's only an isolated situation. So just make sure that you're current of, what's going on, whether it's seasonality, and making sure that, again, look at it from that potential buyer's point of view. And it's not about you, it's about them. So think about the content you do right. But also, you have to, I hate to say this, but you have to dumb it down so that a fifth grader can read it. The reason why is if you keep it that simple, you're going to be able to speak to a much wider audience versus, using all the technical terms that may go over most people's head. Just K.I.S.S.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And, just to kind of reiterate everything. So as far as content goes, got to be blogging a certain extent. You want to be answering questions, but more so, it sounds like from what you're talking about, you need to have your fingers on the pulse of what's happening in the digital marketing landscape, because it is probably a good idea to check your website every once in a while, go through your content, make sure the right keywords are there. Google loves fresh content, right? That's why we want consistency in blogging and adding content there. And like JC said, read the room. Things are changing so rapidly. You got to make sure it speaks to your brand. You got to make sure it speaks as to what Google's going to be looking for, and that it's properly optimized. And it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You got to be kind of fluid with your brand and fluid with the type of content you're putting out there, and keep it simple, right?
Yeah, exactly. For the most part in the restoration industry, it's an evergreen market, right? There's always going to be, the seasonality, your typical water heater, toilet overflow, or bathroom mold.
Yeah.
It's not like there's, outside of COVID, it's pretty much the same issues that people are dealing with throughout the year.